You know, I love my parents. They're great. And like many of you, I get busy with school, friends, and life in general. Sometimes I don't really take the time to appreciate everything they've done for me. But here's a question. How many of us actually pause to notice the people who make that busy life possible? Hello, everyone. I'm Muthanna, and today I would like to talk to all of you about a relationship we often overlook, and that is the relationship with our parents. It wasn't until mine went on a 2-week business trip, leaving my brother and me home alone, that I realized how important their presence is. At first, I was thrilled. I imagined all the freedom I would have, like staying up late, eating whatever I wanted, and doing things my way without anyone telling me what to do. It felt like a dream come true. But as the days went by, that excitement faded. I found myself missing the little things. My mom's laughter, my dad's random dad jokes, and even their calls for me to go eat dinner. The freedom I thought I wanted turned into a weird kind of loneliness. I've realized their presence added so much to our home, and without them, it felt kind of hollow. I know many of you can relate to this feeling, especially those who live away from your parents and don't get to see them as often. When my parents came back after those 2 weeks, I was so happy to see them. Our house felt like a home again, filled with their warmth and laughter. Honestly, I struggled being without them for that time, and I can't imagine what it's like for those who are away for longer. It made me really appreciate how much their presence means to me. The truth is, many of us take our parents for granted. We get so caught up in our own lives, our own struggles, that we forget to appreciate the people who have loved us unconditionally. We might roll our eyes when they ask us about our day, or sigh when they remind us to wear a jacket. But have you ever actually stopped to think about how lucky you are to have your parents around? Think about this young boy who just lost his mom and dad to an explosion. The only words that came out of his mouth were, "I wish this was a dream." Can you imagine how painful that is? His life is filled with sadness and fear, while many of us have the comfort of family around us. Now he has to wake up in a shattered neighborhood, surrounded by the remains of his home, wondering where his next meal will come from and if he'll ever feel safe and loved again. He goes to bed hungry, longing for the warmth of his parents' arms. This young boy's reality is something that many of us can't even fathom. He would trade anything for just a few more moments or even seconds with his parents. It's not just about losing his parents, it's about losing his whole world, his sense of safety and love. This is just one example of many. And these stories are not just headlines. They're the daily lives of countless kids who long for what many of us take for granted. So, the next time you feel frustrated or upset with your parents, remember this boy. Remember that there are children out there wishing for just one more day with their parents. It's really important to recognize how we can easily overlook the sacrifices our parents make for us, often without us realizing it. So, instead of focusing on the small disagreements or misunderstandings, we should take a step back and try to remember the countless ways they've showed their love and support. The thing is, a lot of us are so fortunate to have parents who provide us with a roof over our heads, food on the table, and the love and support we need every day. It's easy to take these basic needs for granted when we have them. Even when our parents aren't around, they're still providing for us in some way, whether it's through life lessons or financial support. It makes me wonder, when was the last time you thanked your parents? When did you last tell them how much you appreciate what they do for you? And for those who don't live with your parents, when was the last time you called your parents just to say hello? Years from now, when you're reflecting on your life, will you be wishing you had valued the time you had with your parents? Or will you now live in peace, knowing you had cherished every moment? If you never took the chance to say a heartfelt thank you to your parents, regret might come from not having expressed your appreciation while you had the chance. People often say to be understanding with teenagers because they're going through a tough time. But why not extend that same understanding to your parents? After all, it's their first time living a life too. Just like us, they're learning and figuring things out as they go. They don't have all the answers and they make mistakes, just like we do. We often expect them to know everything, but they're just doing their best with the knowledge they have. Every day for them can feel like a new challenge. Imagine being in their shoes, trying to raise kids, handle work, and manage their own lives all at once. They're navigating a world that can be pretty tough. So when they make mistakes or don't understand us right away, it's easy to get frustrated, but let's try to remember that they're still learning too. Plus, the world is so different now compared to when they were kids. They faced their own struggles, and their parents did the best they could, just like they're trying to do for us now. It's really important to remember that our parents might not fully understand the challenges we deal with today. With social media and school stress, it can feel overwhelming. Now, think about how tough it must be for them, managing their work, finances, and trying to raise us in a world that's constantly changing. Now, I know that our parents can sometimes be super annoying. I'm not saying I have a perfect relationship with mine. They definitely irritate me sometimes and force me to do things that I don't want to do, like this TEDx speech. But let's flip that narrative for a moment. What if instead of annoyance, we focused on gratitude? Every time they ask us a question, every time they check in on us, they're showing that they care. That's love. Maybe it's time to start recognizing that more. We're so lucky because we still have time. Time to show our parents the love they deserve. Time to tell them how much we appreciate everything they've done. Think about all the sacrifices they've made. Working long hours to provide for us, staying up late to help with school projects, or simply being there when we needed someone to talk to. They're doing their best, often having to give up things they want or need in order to support us. So let's not wait for special occasions to show them we care. A simple chat, a hug, or even just asking how their day was can mean a lot. It's about building those little moments that show them they're appreciated. At the end of the day, they've been there for us, and now it's our turn to be there for them. So I encourage you all to focus on building a stronger relationship with your parents and to express gratitude for all they do before it becomes too late. Life is unpredictable, and we never know what tomorrow will bring. So with that said, I would like to ask you all, what will you do with the time you have now? Thank you.